There is a very, very big tool that just came out in the AI space. Chat GPT, and that changed everything about marketing. So there is a window. It's called Chat GPT, and it's by a company called OpenAI. Yeah, so that changed everything about marketing. So there's always new things that are coming along, right? So it's more of like, I don't think the tool as much is as important because that's always changing. But, you know, ChatGPT, Reddit ads, no one runs Reddit ads. No one runs Twitter ads. I mean, I'm talking about our industry, right? Mm-hmm. So what can you do? And yeah,
I think it illustrates a point that like there's a whole lot of opportunity that most people just don't think about, like Reddit ads. Man, I never would have thought of that, but you're right. I mean, 0 times have I ever seen that, and I probably never will. So, and I guess the question is it because it doesn't work, or it's because nobody's thought of it, or maybe nobody's thought of it in a way that works? I guess where I get overwhelmed on that is like there's this infinite number of different ways to do it wrong. So like, how do you figure out what is that right way, whatever that means?
And I think Ajay is an expert at this because he also has told me about testing and how like testing is very, very important. And for me, I've never really done too much testing, and I'm trying to do that because for me is I just like to go in and do it. But testing, right? You can maybe if you have $10 in your marketing budget, spend $5 on what works and $5 on like $1 here, $1 there, like 10%, right? And experiment. There is no competition. Right. I just said the tool that we're implementing now, and there's no gatekeeping. I think the people that are going to really do it are going to do it anyway. And I feel like a competition is kind of an illusion.
Yeah, I know. There's all kinds of ways to split test stuff and do that kind of thing. I just learned about something called Google Optimize. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
I'd never heard of this until probably a couple months ago. I've got this consultant, and he's helping me figure out all kinds of stuff with REtipster that I didn't even know existed. And Google Optimize, you can basically plug in 2 different versions of a website, like whether it's a landing page or a blog post or whatever it is, and it'll just automatically split test it for you. So whenever people show up, whether they directly go to that URL or hit it through a search result, it'll just 50-50 decide, nope, you're going to this one. Nope, you're going to this other one. And it does this for a few thousand times, and it tells you pretty clearly what the winner is in terms of people are staying longer on this one or people are buying through this one. So yeah, there's that. And then there's like, there's something called Crazy Egg. There's another one, it's Hotjar, where they put heat maps on your website, and you can figure out like how far are people scrolling down this website and when are they leaving? So you can figure out when are they getting bored and not hanging out there anymore. And like what buttons are they clicking on the most? If you have 3 links to the same place, one's a button, one's just a word, and one's a picture, what's getting the most action? And like you would never know this stuff if you didn't test it out like this. And something I learned is that I used to put videos on REtipster at like the bottom of the blog post until I realized that 90% of people don't scroll at the bottom of the blog post. Like they never even see the thing. So like if there's something really important you want them to see, put it right up at top. They call it above the fold. So they don't have to scroll at all to see the thing. I think the thing that frustrates me is like this is one of a million things to investigate in everyday business. And it's easy to just forget about it or not even think about it. You can learn a lot through that kind of stuff.
That's the fun, though, isn't it, Seth? Right? Like, if it were easy, everyone would do it. And so you get to kind of dive into the sandbox and see what's going on. And I don't know, that's the stuff that keeps me way too excited when I try to go to sleep at night and then I can't because my mind's like, well, what if we try this? And I frequently ask myself, what would I regret the least? And Peter pointed out how I like to test a lot. And so, I'll play this game where, let's say a new investor's coming in, they're like, I want to invest in land. I'm like, great, here's what I would do to get started. Maybe point them to some learning resources before they actually do anything. Be like, great, we want speed, right? So what would we do for speed? Well, we'd probably go postcards, okay, right? Because you can do priority mail on a postcard and do neutral messaging to get the highest response rate in the quickest amount of time. But maybe they want blind offers for a certain response. So it's funny to play this game of like, what would I regret the least? What gives us the most or least amount of risk? How do you play it in a way where maybe you're overspending on $15 for this iteration, but you would have overspent on $3,000 had you done it in some big mass 50,000 mailer type instead of just testing to see if it works. And so I don't know, I love playing that game. My brain is a very bad version of a Monte Carlo simulation, if you know what that is.
I don't actually.
It's like a thing operations professional use for optimization of systems. They use it a lot in like procurement and stuff like that. It's like moving stuff around and optimizing stuff. And we did it in some advanced Excel class I took in college. That's the only reason I know what it is.
Oh, you're still here. Well, hey, this is the end screen, and there's a lot of cool stuff here in this channel. You could watch something like this over here, or you could also watch something like this over here. This is really neat too. I hope I'll see you again soon. Be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. And if you want to, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you can see more videos like this. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you next time.